Hi, welcome to the channel today. So today we're going to be working on the 2009 Nissan Versa. I've got quite a few videos on this car. This is my daily driver. Put about 60 miles a day on it, round trip to work. So the brakes are really rough on this car. Can't remember the last time I put rotors and pads on this. It's probably been a while, but usually these the factory rotors are the like the ones you get from AutoZone. They just don't last. They warp real easily. So we're going with an alternative route today. We're going to do some PowerStop rotors and pads. So I got some PowerStop Evolution Sport carbon fiber ceramic pads. And then I have their zinc coated rotors with the drilled and slotted rotors. So hopefully these will last a lot longer. I mean, this is by no means a performance car, but if these rotors last longer without warping than like the kind you get from Advance Auto or wherever, that'll be definitely a benefit. And they honestly, the pricing was not bad on it. For the full set here was about 170 bucks. So we'll go ahead and get started, get this jacked up and pull the brakes off. Should be a relatively easy job and go pretty quick. Honestly, there's still a ton of pad left on these. Unfortunately, the rotor's definitely seen better days. So we'll go ahead and pull this apart. So the caliper bolts themselves are 14s. Go ahead and pull these off. Right, as you can see, the pad's still got a lot of life left on them. Alright, next I'll pull the caliper bracket off. That's a 17 millimeter. Alright, the rotor just slides off. Looking back here, we also have a split axle boot. I actually have that on order, so that should be here soon. That'll probably be in the next video. I also have new struts and strut mounts and shocks for the rear as well. It's getting up to, it's got 162,000 miles on it, so it's about time to start replacing those wear and tear items. Next I'll go ahead and get the wire brush to clean up the caliper bracket. So pop these off and grease the sliders, and then clean around the hub there. The brake rotors are labeled, so front driver's side, front passenger side. It's interesting how different brake companies, the directions of the slots and the cross drills holes and the rotors face. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I have another video. I did Stop Tech brakes on Lincoln MKS, and these were actually facing the other direction based on the recommendation from the company. So again, it's all in how they're made. Always pay attention to the manufacturer's instructions on what way the brake should face. So we'll go ahead and we have our driver's side here. We'll go ahead and mount this and get our pads. The pads also came with new brackets and new rubber boots. The rubber boots in good shape on the Versa now, so I'm not going to change those out. And I don't like using aftermarket brackets, whatever you want to call those. I've had issues where they're like a little too big and they've slid and moved with the brake caliper depressing and started grinding on the rotor. Actually had that happen on the truck with some O'Reilly's brake pads. So I just cleaned up the ones that are on there, and I'll just reuse them, and I re-greased up the pins on the sliders in there. So we'll go ahead and put this on. I'll put some anti-seize around the hub to just keep from corrosion. Alright, we got the lubricant supplied with the pads. Let's go ahead and apply them on the corners. It says apply to the back of the pad as well. Pads are in. We'll go ahead and compress the caliper piston. I use these big channel locks. All right, that's it. Put the wheel on and move to the other side. Other side looks to be about the same. Pads are still pretty thick. You can see a lot of rippling and a lot of heat in the rotor, how dark it is. So go ahead and time lapse this side and get all this knocked out and changed over. wanted to point out, I screwed up on the first side here, the driver's side, so that little tab there, that goes inside this this hook on the pad. So it's like a spring to kind of hold it. Yeah, and I missed the back one too. I noticed that on the other side. So I gotta pull this this caliper back off and reroute those underneath there and then put it back together. We should be good to go. You see now the brackets inside the thing on both the front and the back side now. Alright, so I fixed my mistake on the driver's side. Definitely pay attention when you're doing brakes. So I got those clips all put in. Both front wheels torqued to 84 foot-pounds. So now, it's very windy outside, so now we have a break-in procedure for the brakes. So I'll take it out on the road here, do 5 aggressive 40 to 10 mile an hour stops, and then 5 moderate decelerations from 35 to 5, and then drive for 5 minutes to cool the brakes down. All right, did the bedding procedure for the brakes. They seem to be operating pretty well. We'll see if these last super long without warping, because that was the issue I had before. So yeah, we'll give these a shot and see what they can do. Next up, which I just got my package here, is going to be struts and shocks. So that'll be the next video. Hopefully I can do that this weekend if I have time. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.